Dave Sackett created a remarkable environment of intellectual rigor, commitment, hard work, generosity, caring about one another, collaboration, and happiness at McMaster University. He created an environment that was deep enough that the generations that have followed have been able to keep that tremendous spirit going, and it exists at McMaster today as a result of Dave Sackett.
Recruiting Dave Sackett was probably the single most important thing that I've done for the NHS in England. From my first visit to McMaster many years ago, in the days of clinical epidemiology, I was terrifically impressed, not just by their intellectual ability, but by the culture, by the way they respected students and patients. And when evidence-based medicine came along, I could see that this was something that would transform healthcare in every country. So, we thought of raising funds, which we did, from the NHS, for, first of all, a chair of clinical epidemiology. And then we thought, well, no, let's stimulate people, let's educate people, we'll call it evidence-based medicine. But it was Dave's personality that was the key, supported by his lovely wife, Barbara. Sense of humour, sense of humility, and a sense of priority, what was important. And all these issues, he was terrific. He was a colleague who supported you, inspired you, and helped you. Dave, it was wonderful you gave us those years of your life. Thank you very much. And thank you to Barbara.
Hi, I'm Martin Dawes. I was a junior postdoc at Oxford when I was introduced to Dave Sackett, and we were asked to work with him to set up the evidence-based healthcare masters along with Kate Sears, Phil Davis, and David Mant. This changed our lives. We started working out how to teach evidence-based medicine and practice it in our relevant settings. It was a roller coaster with Dave, ever enthusiastic, and the bureaucracy was definitely for blockheads. Helping work on the Teaching Teachers program in Oxford was part of the learning curve for all of us, and we quickly recognized there were no experts, and everyone was treated equally. The most memorable aspect of Dave Sackett was the fun we had together, and this is my favorite picture of an incredibly kind, generous, and innovative person.
I remember David from the first time when I met in McMaster, and again when I saw him as first chairman of the steering committee of Cochrane collaboration, with which I am associated for a long time. He was a mentor of mentors and teacher of teachers. I say so because he produced many mentors, but also produced many teachers with his own wonderful style of teaching, and of course his fundamental characteristic of a very good mentor. I remember him for his contributions in critical appraisal and evidence-based medicine for many reasons, but specifically because it helps poor patients, because certain tests and treatments which are not established by evidence should not be prescribed, which saves whatever little hard-earned money the poor people have to the best use of their money and getting their treatment. I think many generations will remember Dave Sackett as someone who will motivate them, who will inspire them to serve the society, especially the poor. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Price from Thinkwell and the University of Oxford, and this is my tribute to Dr. Dave Sackett. Although I never met you, I am alive because you made seeking the best evidence a priority. Evidence is the life-giving seed that contains the future within itself. Our contribution is the environment of unity in which we nurture that seed to shape values and to develop methodologies. Change often comes with a personal cost, of conflict and misinterpretation. And I believe Dave Sackett and others who are pioneers have paid that price. True greatness is the power to transcend the limitations we call today into the future we name tomorrow. Thank you, Dave Sackett, for the tools of evidence. You have changed the world. Amy Price, 2015.
I'm David Evans, founder of the C.H.A.I.N network. I first heard Dave Sackett speak in London exactly 20 years ago. The fact that I'm in Sicily today is not unconnected. His message was powerful, but it was Dave's ability as a communicator that ensured its impact and set him apart. I loved his own story of going back to medical school mid-career, like Colonel Kurtz in Apocalypse Now, retraining with people half his age so that he could stay ahead. I saw him again in Oxford the following year, where he was blazing a new trail, pioneering mobile technology in practice. With Anna Donald, Trish Greenhalgh, Muir and Jonathan Lomas, Dave Sackett inspired me and my colleagues to rethink what we were doing. Leading by example, he showed us what was possible.
In 1998, I read and digested David's book about evidence-based medicine. It has changed my professional life as a dentist and as an educator completely, as it has changed my ideas about best practice. I started to motivate students and my colleagues to adopt the principles of evidence-based practice in their daily life as general dental practitioners. Following David's advice, when he retired, we moved on to further develop and implement this approach. Nowadays, I teach my students and my colleagues about the principles of evidence-informed dentistry, resulting in evidence-informed decision-making with the final aim to achieve best-informed practice. We have to honor David as early innovator for his lifetime work. I am convinced that my profession or healthcare providers would not have made the steps on quality improvement without David's ideas.
I have the privilege of translating the first book of David Sackett on evidence-based medicine to Spanish language. I keep his friendly dedication with pride and honor. It was wonderful to talk to a wise and unselfish man about the meaning of words, clinical epidemiology concept, and life itself. Thanks for always, Professor Sackett.
Being a family physician, I'm impressed by the David Sackett School of Thought of evidence-based practice that matter patients' values most, hence achieve a better outcome in cost-effective way. Since the introduction of evidence-based medicine, such a practice has become the cornerstone of modern medicine, targeting unwarranted clinical practice variation and improving health outcome.
My name is Arild Bjørndal, and I met David Sackett in the beginning of the 1990s through Andy Oxman, and also to me he became a great source of inspiration. His sometimes erratic style of teaching, for instance, made us courageous when it came to trying out other ways of getting the message across. But most importantly for me, he taught me things as I needed to know as a young and inexperienced head of a department. Hire people that are smarter than yourself was one advice. And maybe the most important, to place your loyalty in persons, not organizations. We miss him.